Have you ever seen a preview and then the movie ain't come out? Nah, bro. Once you see the preview, it's finna be a movie. You believe that. And that's how the imagination works in your life.
But let's get into this episode. First and foremost, I'm still on this whole journey of clarity and not experimenting, but coming in tune with imagination and like new ideas and things like that. And of course, I saw something that I wanted to talk about. Shout out to EYL. Shout out to Steve Harvey. Yeah, we just Isaiah just put just like EYL again or something, right? But they, of course, did such a dope. I wish I could go over that interview like every single time, because that interview with Steve Harvey was so fire. But he said such a bar about imagination that I wanted to talk about, that I feel that as creators and entrepreneurs, we need to tap in a little bit more. At least for me. I don't know about everybody, but I feel like it could help at least one other person. So let's listen.
Albert Einstein had a quote. He said, imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attraction. It's like when you go to a movie and you get your popcorn and you sit down before the movie starts, what do they show you? Preview. They show you preview of what? A coming attraction. Have you ever seen a preview and then the movie ain't come out? Nah, bro. Once you see the preview, it's finna be a movie. You believe that. And that's how the imagination works in your life.
So here's my thing, right? I think we don't put, I'm not going to speak for everybody. I'm going to speak for me. I don't put that much emphasis on my imagination. Like, I put emphasis on ideas, but not my imagination. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I see a lot of things. I mean, the natural creator that I am, and when I listened to that, I was more like, everything happens for a reason. Even our imaginations. But I think as growing up, it was always put as something that doesn't really exist. It's like, oh, it's just your imagination. This is just your imagination. This, like, it's always downplayed. So I put more emphasis on ideas rather than just the totality of imagination. And when he said that, I was like, going back to everything happens for a reason, even the things that appear in your mind, regardless if other people could see it or not. And I'm like, what? Yeah. Then, of course, he said Albert Einstein. You can't even go wrong with,
Automatically becomes deep when he
mentions Yeah, like he could have said that, but then...
Right.
Yeah. Albert Einstein said it. So
official now.
It's
official.
Yeah. But like, I think my question is, how do we like extract that downplaying that we've gotten growing up and putting more power to the imagination than as we're older? Because we could get away with so much. Like, people come up with imaginary friends and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Who's not to say they're just not speaking a certain friend into existence? Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to get too deep. That could have went there, but I'm not trying to, right? But like, it was always like, oh, that's your imagination. But how do we extract that? How do we give more power to it?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I think as we get older, we just tend to conform. We follow these rules that somebody made up without any good reason. We just say, oh, okay, that's the way it's got to be, and you just follow it. and you don't know if it's if it's of any benefit to you, if it can help you, if it can hurt you on your path. You just do it because other people are doing it. But the way to break out of it is you got to start breaking those rules. Like, go against the grain. Push yourself to do things that you normally wouldn't do. You know, because like even when you talk about this idea of like abundance, right? Like, and I think of imagination as abundance, right? And we were literally in the beach today, and of course, as a New Yorker, when you see your feet in water, you're like, whoa, this is different. Like, you don't go to beaches in New York and see nothing of your body in the water.
Right,
You're
right,
like,
right.
You're in New York, you're like, okay, I guess I'm in the water. But Florida was a cool vibe. Like, you actually got to see your feet, whatever. So we were talking while we were in the water, and then like you can look up and the water runs forever. You look into the sky, clear blue skies, they run forever. And it's like, the creator created things in abundance and created us in that same format. So where does this concept of limitation or there isn't enough to go around for everybody and for my desires, where does that come from? It comes from conforming. It comes from us following these rules that mean nothing, that we've put value on and said, it's got to be this way. So I think the more that we challenge ourselves and we surround ourselves with others who are constantly looking to go against the grain and just do things a little bit differently, the more that we'll see that it's okay. And more importantly, that it's entirely possible to create things that you don't yet see and allow them to come into your life that way.
Yeah. And it goes along with the book I was reading, The Four Agreements. I think that's what it's called. The Four Agreements, right?
Yeah.
When you said that, like, it instantly makes me think of like I think the first thing they said was like, everything's a dream. When you're up, it's a dream. And when you're asleep, it's a dream, right? It's just that as we grow up, they like compared us to like dogs. Like, we get domesticated like animals, right?
Wow.
To think certain ways and to do certain things. And so we were trained that, our imaginations, our dreams aren't necessarily real, right? But if we could clear all thoughts of that and strip it away, then true freedom comes in. I sound very deep. I don't mean to sound this. This is Moose kind of talk. I don't even do this.
This I swear to you, and this is why I always say, like, I don't intend to be deep, but this is why this entrepreneurship creative journey is more of an inside job than it is an outside job. Like, all the technical stuff, like, it's important, but without this part right here, without the stuff between your two ears, like operating right and you thinking and really being able to process correctly about just your own thoughts, your emotions, your desires, without that, none of that stuff manifests or unfolds. So I don't ever think it's deep, but I just think it confirms why we keep circling back to these points and saying, this is the stuff that really matters. You get down this part, the rest of the stuff is actually a lot easier than you think.